So I'm Jaymit Bhoraniya, Senior Serverless Developer at Serverless Guru, and I am working in a community with AWS as Serverless in Ahmedabad and also AWS Community Builder. And it is a really great pleasure today to talk with you guys and share something, whatever knowledge I am having. Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about like how you can innovate faster with AWS Serverless. We have a dev session as right time after lunch, like we covered have an engaged session. Now I'm going to the point straight to the technical things in AWS. I will going to talk about like what is the serverless journey, innovations, and the like how you can innovate faster with AWS Serverless. And I will also talk about the what are the AWS serverless role in data architecture, and we'll talk about like how the traditional architecture challenges can resolved by modern data architecture. We will cover the modern data architecture as well as the use cases and how you can handle the huge amount of data on AWS serverless. So this is how we covered today by keynotes. In the keynotes, step-by-step journey covered. That way, we started our journey like everyone sitting here. Most of having experience coding nearby, sitting to the server rack space on our physical server in the office. And then we started to get to know about like cloud and AWS, and now we all talking about serverless because serverless giving us a like pay as you go. It is giving us a scalability and lot of things. So the serverless is like things are new, but now the developer community is ready to adopt the new things, and trend is also going. And in India and Asia also, we are growing along with the technology and solving the problems with the client. So this is how the technology stack growing in the serverless side also. Like in 2022, it is around 7 billion market. And now we see this market in around 2022, it is a 9 billion market for serverless. And that is the projection 2023, 90 billion market will be going to reach for serverless. And we started right time here, this community. So it will help us to take the our knowledge next level as well as the client solution providing at next level. So this is how the innovation started in AWS. We started our journey like in 2014, the started services like Lambda function, and then we have API gateway, DynamoDB, and we started with the REST API use cases. Then we have a like streaming, asynchronous, concurrency, and event routing and lot of stuff. So it is not just like there are the pioneer services are like we have a compute services, application integration services, and data services in AWS, right? So that will help us to build any kind of like backend services, scalable and event-driven architecture. So these are like compute integration services and data services. The pioneer services are this, but it is not like limited to that services. In AWS, there are a lot of different options in all the categories to build the things hybrid as well as the serverless way. So today, when we talk about specifically on data domain, like we have a lot of purpose build in AWS, lot of purpose build services on every stage. Like when we talking about data product, we are doing it stage wise. Like we have a data ingestion, data processing, data lake, data analytic, and data prediction. So when we are building any like a data warehouse or a data lake or any data relevant solution in AWS stack specifically, we have a lot of options. Like in ingestion side, we having a Amazon Airflow, Amazon Kinesis, Amazon MSK, and on processing side, AWS Glue, EMR, and data lake side, of course, we have a S3 and lake formation for the fine grade permission, and analytics side, Athena, QuickSight, and Redshift. This topic is a very broad topic, so I will grow fast pace at some point to cover everything. So when we talking about streaming, in streaming case, we have options like Kinesis data stream as well as MSK. So MSK, whenever we have a like high streaming flow required, MSK is a good in that case, and MSK support large payload also compared to the Kinesis. on processing side, like Glue is a powerful tool where we are able to get the data from any different sources, data warehouse or the data lake or the operational data store. And we are able to process all the data together for our reporting perspective or AIML. Same way, like on Athena, we are able to do query-based operation on data lake, and on we are able to give fine-grained permission by using lake formation. I will talk about like 𝐸𝐶 is also one of the service which is like giving you the insight in your data by GUI ways. So I will dig into more this if we are going forward. So when we're talking about serverless and when we're talking about data, there are a lot of options in data service as well in AWS. Like these are the purpose-built services. When we're talking about like data, we are talking about data lake. We are talking about data warehouse. So we have this Glue serverless options in AWS that help us with building the integration services in AWS. We are able to like grab the data from any different sources by using crawler and catalog. So we have a catalog building from different sources like a data lake or a Redshifts, data warehouse and anywhere, and we are able to integrate the data to like build our jobs by using Spark. So Glue is a data integration service. Athena is also serverless option where that is will be used for mainly like querying data on data lake. Any data analysis is able to query the data directly on S3. So whatever data present in data lake, we are directly able to query through using Athena. And MSK is a streaming service, same as like Kinesis. In MSK, we have a serverless option also. Like so, we are able to use and scale that automatically by using MSK serverless, and Kinesis is also a streaming service. In database side, if we see, we have a in AWS Aurora serverless option, so that will help us with scaling our database operational data hub fast. And when we're talking about serverless, when we're doing RDS operation by using Lambda function or anything, we have options of like in Amazon AWS, we have an option of RDS proxy that help us with the scaling while we are doing operation with the RDS database compared to the NoSQL database. Redshift serverless, Redshift is a warehouse service, data warehouse service where we are able to build our data warehouse. So in that also having a serverless option. And finally the OpenSearch, that is also now serverless in the AWS. So by using OpenSearch, we are able to do the operational excellence operation on queries and logs. So this is a like purpose-built analytic services. Apart from this, we have the streaming application, integration side, warehouse side, and also the fine-grained permission lake formation give the fine-grained permission to the data lake. And on 𝐸𝐶 is a service where it will give the visualization on your data. So like you have a end-to-end things like data coming from outside system through streaming and processing through the Glue, and at the end data will exported and goes to your 𝐸𝐶 for the visualizations perspective. So end-to-end pipeline you are able to make. So when we're talking about data, like we are talking about different architecture. So initially, like when we are initial stage of building the reporting system, like so far at that time we were having a like data, we will only using the data warehouse. And then when we are using data warehouse, we having like some limitation. We are able to do some reporting and BI operation only. We are not able to do ML and AI operation on top of that. To solve that challenges, data lake come into picture. So this data lake architecture give us a flexibility to handle the structured and unstructured data. So that we are able to handle the both kind of structured and unstructured data, as well as we have the reporting BI as well as data science and machine learning model we are able to run on top of S3 buckets. I mean like data lakes. So this data lake is architecture also continuously evaluating into the modern data architecture. So that means data lake house. Data lake house also give us a flexibility to process the structured and unstructured data, and also give us a security and governance and accessibility on our data, so that we have a fine-grained access to our data lake data when we are doing machine learning and data science and lot of BI operation on top of our data. And data mesh also like kind of domain-specific data we are able to operate when we talking about data mesh. It is a kind of like every domain-specific data lakehouse. So when we're talking about modern data architecture, that means when we initially building, we were only just building data warehouse. So we have a limitation of like doing BI operation only. But now the area of ML and AI operation and machine learning is growing a lot. Every companies are building or every client solution are building the ML models. So like everyone, when the business grow or when the application grow, we need the lot of insight on top of data. Like we need a ML operation, we need a analytical operation, we need a BI operation. So due to that, like three things come into picture together. Like we have a data warehouse, we have a data lake, and we have an operational data store. So operational data store that will help us with the operational data. Data lake that will help us the real-time querying on our data lake, and also we have a Redshift, that means data warehouse. So this is a kind of like modern architecture covered through three things together: data lake, warehouse, as well as operational data store. So we are easily able to do our operation, and that will help us with the faster decision on our data to like provide the fine-grained customer experience on our data. So this is like when we're talking about specifically to AWS on modern data architecture, these are the different services we having a fine-grained in AWS. We having a fine-grained services like Redshift for data warehouse, OpenSearch for the operational excellence on the query logs, Aurora side, same as I speak. EMR and Glue are also good services on data integration side. DynamoDB, as we know, like NoSQL services, and SageMaker give us a like machine learning run on our top of our data solution. So when we're talking about building a modern data architecture on serverless, we have like these different layers. Ingestion layers, when data coming into our system, like a huge amount of data coming into our system through ingestion layer, and processing in the processing layer, and then we have a like catalog, metadata catalog, and searches on top of that by using Glue catalog, and then we have a like purpose-built store services and security and governance on top of that. So and consumption side. So that way we will build entire modern data architecture by all the steps. So every layer having the purpose-built AWS services on. That is having a serverless capability. So we are, according to our layer, we are able to use different services. I am going a bit fast-paced. There are a lot of things. This is a broader topic. In each and every topic, we are able to give session. So I am going fast-paced. So when we are building a modern data architecture, like data are coming from lot of sources. Like data are coming from our partners. Data are coming from our system storage, SaaS partners, or any other streaming data also coming into system. So when we talking about partner data, we are able to get those data through a transfer family into our S3 bucket. Whenever data coming through streaming, we are able to get those streaming data through MSK or the Kinesis data stream into our system. I mean in our data lake. So our data lake, we are dividing into three storage layer, like raw data. Then we have a like clean data and curated data. That is means like curated data is for like our consumption perspective or running the data model on top of that. So when data coming through streaming, that way we are able to use streaming services. When coming through partners, we are able to use transfer family. There are other options also, like for SaaS integration, there is a Amazon Airflow help with that. We have a large set of files, then data sync also can help. When we want to dump the data in from other database, then we have a like data migration service also. So when we have a data come into our system, data lake means like come into data lake, then we are able to process those data by using data pipeline, like Glue and Glue catalog and those kind of things we are able to do. On top of that, like Glue workflow having a lot of things. As soon as data arrive in S3, we are able to trigger our crawler. Crawler will create the catalog, and then Glue will able to process those data. And same way, like one data is ready, we have a like consumption flow. Consumption side, we have a like QuickSight, Ethina, and other services. On top of that, we are able to run the machine learning as well. And security side, of course, we have like lake formation. that will give a fine-grained permission on our data lake to build our lake house. When we're talking about specific use case, like when we say, like when we are building any airline solution, and that case we have a data coming from airport, like we have a PNR data coming, ticketing data coming, and many other SaaS partner data also coming into system. So we are able to get those data either through streaming. When we do get that data through streaming, we have an option of like Kinesis data stream to Kinesis data firehouse to our row S3 bucket. And when data coming through partner, we are able to store those in batch data bucket, that is in our data lake. And then we have a glue running on top of that, that will transform those data into processed mean curated S3 bucket, where we have some processed data. And also we are able to ingest those data into DynamoDB. So we have a data lake build. We have the DynamoDB, that means our operational data store also running, and we have a Redshift, that is means our data warehouse running. So whenever we have a high load of traffic in our data platform, when we are like airline having a lot of traffic, like when we go for boarding and when we go for baggaging, there are a lot of data are coming together. So we need this kind of serverless solution where three things are running together: data lake, we have a that streaming handling, as well as operational data store, and also the data warehouse all together running. And on top of that, we are able to do fast decision data models and other operation. So this way, we are able to build our data lake, and on top of Redshift, by using Ethena, we are able to query on our data lake, and we are able to feed those data into QuickSight. QuickSight is a GUI-based data insight service. So when we talking about streaming data cycle, these are the different services that will help us with the streaming data, Kinesis, MSK. These are different options, and these are different source. When we get the data from source, we have these storage options like Kinesis data stream and MSK store those stream. And that have a differences. Kinesis store those data for maximum 1 year. MSK can store more than that. And in Kinesis, we have a limitation of payload. In MSK, we are able to store high size of payload as well. And streaming side, we are able to use this AWS Glue or a Lambda function or EMR or a Kinesis data analysis. Based on our use case, we are able to use this kind of streaming processing. So they are able to process our data. When we use Kinesis data analytics, that means we are able to deploy our Java-based code on that, and that will process our stream and route our stream to specific destination. So destination might be S3, Redshift, OpenSearch, or a Kinesis data firehouse, and that will load our data into target system. So that way we are able to build the streaming data pipeline. This is a simple same reference architecture. Data coming through IoT or any other ways and goes to the streaming services, and then we have we are directly able to route this data to the storage, or we are able to do the processing of those data and able to store in the destination. So this is a streaming pipeline. When we talk, this is also another example of streaming pipeline, here through Kinesis and here through MSK. So when we talking about Kinesis, the first flow is batch storage, and here another flow is flowing data into DynamoDB by using the Kinesis data stream. So there is a data lake data storage as well as operational data storage. And same way here through MSK, we are putting data into Redshift. So this is also batch data processing reference architecture. When we are talking about batch data processing, there is a data is coming from either S3 or a operational database, and our Glue will get that data, or a EMR can get this data, and it is able to process those data and put into the destination. So here is two example, either data coming through partner to transfer family to our bucket. Then we have a Lambda function trigger our Glue job, and Glue job even able to take a data from any sources, like either a data lake or a data warehouse, or the any sources. There are Glue catalog can do magic and able to support any kind of data loading and transform those data. So this is also another example of like transfer family, get the data into our data lake, and on top of that we are able to run our machine learning model or the analytics services. This is a, like again the end-to-end ingestion architecture, where that data is going into data warehouse or the our data lake. When we're talking about data lake in Glue specifically, we are able to build our data catalogs. So whenever like we have any data coming into our system and data lake, by using Glue crawler, we are able to crawl those data and we are able to put those data into Glue catalog. Catalog is a kind of like metadata layer where the data is stored in Glue in table and database format. So we have all the data sources, data lake, data warehouse, and operational data store. And on top of that, we have a data catalog setup, and that will access by all the sources. So generally, when we have a like normal data warehouse, that is only accessed by like reporting tool. But when we have a data catalog, we are able to use at machine learning level or the big data processing level. Our model also able to process data on top of our data catalog or data lake. So I'm skipping some slide also which is I already explained. So when we talking about Glue having AWS Glue having a lot of features, like we are able to build the data pipeline GUI way. We are able to do orchestration of the data pipeline. We are able to whenever the file come into S3, we are able to trigger the crawler. Crawler will create the data catalog, and on top of data catalog, we are able to our Glue job will auto trigger and it will put the data into formatted bucket. So that way we are able to do it. So when we're talking about Glue, it is doing Spark based processing. So Apache Spark will help us to process the data when it is coming through different sources, either a data warehouse, data lake, or the operational data store. So this is a like we are able to, here you can see like database AWS Glue can support multiple data stores. As a source, we are able to get data from either S3, Kinesis, MSK. Also, we are able to get the data from different other sources, databases. Even we are able to get the data from Redshift, and we are able to transform those data into a destination system. So here we can see like we are getting data through data lake. We are getting data from our operational data store, a data warehouse, and we are able to transform those data. So this is also same thing which I explained. Like there is a Glue connectors, and whenever a like Glue crawler will run on top of S3, it will create the Glue data catalog, and then Glue job is able to transform those data into our modern data architecture. Consumption layer side also, we having in AWS we having a lot of options like Redshift, and these are all things I already explained about the same thing. So when we're talking about like building the data pipeline and many things, we always need to think about operational excellence also. So for when we talking about operational use case, this OpenSearch is a good AWS OpenSearch is a good option when we want to build an operational excellence pipeline. So that will take a logs from flow logs or a CloudWatch trailer to the data firehouse, and it will put into S3, and then we have a Glue job process those log in batch format and put into OpenSearch. And if you want to do logs processing by using streaming, we have like this Amazon Kinesis data analytic will filter out or route our logs, and whatever logs needed that put into OpenSearch, and OpenSearch have a desktop support where you are able to dig into your logs. And we are able to do alerting on top of that. And also when we're talking about end-to-end data processing, then we have like data coming from third party or a system into our data lake, and then we have a lake formation that can give the fine-grained permission on our data catalog, and that data, whatever data come into data lake, that will be accessed by QuickSight through the Athena or the Redshift, And finally, data visualization come into QuickSight. So that way we are able to do end-to-end pipeline also. This is our one reference architecture for IoT case. So when we want to build the data warehouse or the data lake for the IoT case, data are coming from physical devices to IoT core to go into like Kinesis data stream and Kinesis data analytics. KDA will run the Java code that will route your events in, and it has a capability to process your event and route your event and put into the data warehouse. And then here Lambda streaming directly able to trigger the SageMaker model and able to do run on the OpenSearch, able to visualize that on OpenSearch. And on operational data store side like DynamoDB, when we store data in DynamoDB, we are able to visualize those data by using the our GUI application as well. And this is also storage side. Like, so here are three things: operational data store, data warehouse, and our data lake. So when we build together like modern data architecture, give us a fast response on our data and give us a greater client experience. So these are some best practices. When we talking about when we have some limitation on premises, we are able to migrate our database, operational databases on operational data stores. There are a lot of purpose-built serverless data store in AWS. When we're talking about tiering, we need to build a tiering on top of our data, like row join and curated join and processed joins for consumption side. And also the tiering on our S3 bucket, that is also good to have a needful tiering on top of our S3. When we're talking about access, we need to give a fine-grained access on top of our data by using lake formation. And whatever the streaming platform like Data Kinesis or MSK, we need to use according to our need only, like whatever the use case fits, that we need to streaming. There are multiple options in streaming, but we need to use whatever the good fit. And when we're talking about processing streaming, we need to use that platform which is fits you. Like there is a Lambda, there is a Glue streaming, and of course KDA. So whatever the options fit in your use case, you need to use that way. And on consumption side, this Ethina for the data analysis and QuickSight for that purpose, like to give an end-to-end flow. Sorry, I need to go fast-paced because this is a very broader level presentation topic. So even in each and every service, we are able to give a full day talk or even like 6 to 8 hours talk. So this is I covered topic in broader way. I know I go very fast-paced, but hope you get something out of this. Can you check? I have one more slide. Wait. Yeah, this is the QR code. You can scan. You will get a hands-on workshop on AWS official, where you are able to do your hands-on for 6 to 8 hours for this broader topic. Okay, so you can scan if you want to do your hands-on. It will give you the experience of operational data store, data lake, as well as data warehouse, building an end-to-end data pipeline and visualization experience by using this QR code. Thank you everyone for your time and giving me the chance to share something with you guys. And this community is doing great work. Again, I am giving a hands-on to this community.